Hi, this is Sunil Manji, Senior Principal Solution Architect at Elastic. This is another video in a part series of ElasticKonductor. I'll be specifically talking about how to set up port forwarding for OpenTelemetry demo. All the documentation is in the repo here in the ElasticKonductor Docker client. And if you scroll down and you have launched the OpenTelemetry demo, the next question would be, how do I get to the web front or storefront? If you scroll down here, you'll see that there's an OpenTelemetry demo port forwarding instructions, and we'll just be reviewing this and doing exactly what's in the document here, but over a video demonstration. So the client, the ElasticKonductor client, runs within Docker. But if you want to do port forwarding, you need to do it from your local machine. So whether you're running on a MacBook or a Windows or on a Ubuntu machine. So here, this is my local machine here. And the first thing you need to have is the Azure client. So I'll type AZ. And in fact, you can see I do have the Azure client installed. The next thing you need installed on your local client is kubectl or kubectl. kubectl. And in fact, you can see that I do have it installed. So that's the second requirement you need on your local host. So next, we need to set the local kubectl to what we created within our Docker ElasticKonductor Docker image or instance. So let's go inside the Docker, the ElasticKonductor Docker image or instance. I'm inside of it here, and I'm going to run the inf command here, which basically tells me information about the infrastructure, the cluster name, and where it's deployed. So as you can see here, that the cluster name is OneClickECK, and the resource group where it was deployed. So I need both of these. Now you can see that the name is similar. If you're using the ElasticKonductor client, generally the names will be the same. So now we need to go back over to our local machine. Now, since I'm using Visual Studio, it's pretty simple to switch between the instance and my local host. So I'm back on my local host here, and I want to use the output of the resource group and the cluster name to set my local kubectl. So to do that with the Azure CLI, it's incredibly simple. So I have this in the documentation. You run AZ AKS get credentials, the resource group. Obviously, I'm going to supplied with the resource group that was provided by the inf command, and then the cluster name. So I'm going to run this to set my local kubectl. And it did. So let's run a quick sanity check, see what's running. kubectl get pods. And yes, it's running. And you can see that all my OpenTelemetry pods are running as well. So now I want to port forward port 8080, which is where the web front is, or the storefront for OpenTelemetry demo. So from my local host, again, this is not in the Docker instance for the ElasticKonductor, but from my local host, where I ran kubectl, and it is connected to my AKS cluster. And I'm able to see the OpenTelemetry pods. I'm going to run this port forwarding command. And it is telling me that it is forwarding. So if you go to the OpenTelemetry demo site, it tells you that if you run these, this is basically essentially where I got the information from, you should be able to hit your local host and see the storefront. So let's go try that. And in fact, that is working. And the last part about the demo is that if you want to go one step further and track the spans that are coming off your local browser, you have to port forward one more port. So I'm going to open up another terminal. And again, this is my local host. And I'm going to run port forwarding my OpenTel demo. Actually, it's a different name. The correct name is this service OpenTelemetry-OTel collector. And now it's forwarding. So at this point, go back to the web front, play with the demo, and if you have this wired up with Elasticsearch, you'll see the telemetry data streaming through, and you'll also see your browser that shows up. So if you're on your MacBook, you'll see the span coming from Mac. But that is the conclusion. So what did we do today? Because we launched OpenTelemetry demo, Kubernetes, and the demo using ElasticKonductor within the new Docker client, we need to be able to port forward to be able to reach the web front, and we did that by setting up a couple of configurations on our local host, our local machine. Thanks for watching.